When someone tells you there's a $3 million art collection aboard a cruise ship featuring original works by Picasso, Warhol, Dalí, and Hockney, your first instinct is one word: fake. And honestly, that instinct is doing exactly what it should. I've endured enough cruise ship art auctions, the strategic champagne, the man in the slightly too tight suit, that a numbered print numbered 4200 out of 4200 is absolutely going to appreciate in value by the time you get home, to know that cruise ship art has earned its reputation. Not in the way you earn good reputation, in the way you earn the reputation of someone who once sold a watch out of their coat. So when I walked into the Galleria d'Art aboard Explora II, my skepticism wasn't just operational. It was wearing body armor and demanding to speak to the manager. What I found was the last thing I expected. You're coming in with me. The dominant player in the mainstream cruise art has faced enough lawsuits and regulatory investigations to fill a modest-sized gallery of their own, which would be deeply ironic. The model is simple. Free champagne immediately. An auctioneer treating limited edition as a concept with absolutely no upper limit. Competing bidders, artificial urgency, and enough sparkling wine to make a four-figure purchase feel like a perfectly reasonable decision. Independent analysts, credentiated actual analysts, suggested that some of these mass-produced limited editions are worth 20 cents on the dollar on the secondary market. 20 cents. I'll let that sit. That is the baseline against which we measure what Explora has done on Deck 5. The bar is not set at a daunting height. It is set at a height that the moderately ambitious Dahund could clear without breaking stride. Deck 5 on Explora 1 and Explora 2 is the ship's answer to the Champs-Élysées. If the Champs-Élysées were floating, at better weather, and nobody was trying to sell you a selfie stick. To reach the Galleria d'Art, you pass Rolex, then Cartier, and then the Gallery. Somewhere in a very nice boardroom, someone made the deliberate decision to put a fine art gallery close to some of the most recognizable luxury brands in human civilization. Not next to the buffet, not near the casino. Before you've looked at a single painting, that decision tells you exactly what kind of a person Explora believes you are. And I will confess, it works. I walked in feeling approximately 40% more sophisticated than I had my right to feel. The linen shirt helped. The gallery is operated exclusively by Clarendon Fine Art, and exclusively is doing some work in that sentence. Clarendon is the first and only concession partner of the entire Explora fleet. Not one of several, the partner, singular. They run over 90 galleries worldwide, with a flagship in Mayfair, London. That Mayfair, the one where a flat the size of my Swiss bathroom costs the GDP of a small island nation. And the coffee is served with an attitude that costs extra. Their partnership with Explora was unveiled, naturally, at that Mayfair flagship. Because when you've just secured an exclusive deal with the most talked about luxury cruise line in the world, you do not announce it from a trestle table. You do it in Mayfair, with excellent wine, and you look quietly pleased with yourself, which frankly is the only correct response. At any given moment, the gallery holds approximately 300 pieces, combined value estimated by myself at $3 million or more. And conservatively, in the fine art world, is a world that does considerably heavy lifting. But 3 million is the number, and we are going with it. We're talking Picasso, Warhol, Dalí, Hockney, contemporary icons like Mr. Brainwash, Christian Hook, British luminaries, Lowry, Hearst, Emin. The kind of roster that appears in Christie's autumn catalogs. Not in airport lounges. Every piece is museum quality. Every piece is also delightfully for sale at a stated price, with no competing bidder, no gavel, no suit, and no champagne served with a commercial agenda. Here's the insight I find genuinely clever. The pace of a long voyage is spectacularly well suited to acquiring art. You have 10, 14 days. Time to walk past something on Monday, ignore it deliberately on Wednesday, and find yourself at 7 a.m. on Friday, coffee in hand, robe on, before any other guest is awake, realizing you've been thinking about it for 3 days and it would look magnificent above the fireplace. That is not an accident of design. It is the design. And now, my favorite operational detail of the entire program. Every night, overnight, while you sleep, while the ship moves quietly through international waters, while you dream about whatever bon vivants dream about, Clarendon's team is rearranging the entire gallery. New works emerge from storage. I imagine the operation is run by ninjas with art history degrees. Paintings shift. The east wall that held the Hockney on Tuesday or something else by Wednesday. Why? Because now you have a reason to come back. And back again. And once more on the way to dinner. Which, given the gallery sits directly on the route to most of the ship's restaurant, is going to happen whether you intended it or not. And if the piece you've been quietly circling disappears before you've made your mind up, that, I assure you, is a very clarifying moment. Suddenly, you know, with great precision, whether you actually wanted it. The good news, the advisors can retrieve pieces from the vault. Walk in Tuesday, decide Wednesday, the ninja team will handle the rest. Now, the question everyone is thinking, but most people are too polite to ask out loud. How do I know what I'm looking at is genuine? Here's how Clarendon answers it. And I want you to appreciate the method because it is a minor stroke of genius. They run an onboard program called the Art Luminary Experience. Expert-led seminars throughout the voyage on British masters, on the Spanish greats, on the global art market. And the first seminar, the one that opens the entire program, is titled, It's a Forgery. They open with a lecture about forgeries. In an industry where the standard approach to the authenticity question is to keep the champagne flowing and hope for the best, Clarendon has put it to the program in print in the brochure. They walk you through the greatest forgery scandals in history. They explain exactly how authentication works. And then they show you precisely how their own provenance process protects you. It's the art world equivalent of a restaurant opening its kitchen and saying, come, look, we'll wait. And every piece comes with an official certificate of provenance, independently verified. But here's my favorite detail. The artwork and the certificate travel separately, 2 independent deliveries. I can only describe this as the two-factor authentication of fine art. The Picasso is the password, the certificate is the SMS code. Until both are in your hands, the transaction isn't complete. I did not expect to explain the fine art logistics using a cybersecurity metaphor on this channel, and yet, here we are, evolving. If you've decided you want something, here's how it works, and it's simpler than you think. Clarendon's advisors sit with you, they're people, not cruise line staff, no agenda, no clock, no pedal, no moe with a motif. You have a conversation. You describe what you love, they listen, when you're ready, they formalize what they call the Onboard Handshake. The piece is yours, secured immediately. Payment settles from land, simple. Now, the detail that made me physically double take. Clarendon actively encourage you to use the ship's Wi-Fi to compare their prices with their land-based galleries. The advisors say it themselves. Please check if you can get this cheaper elsewhere. In what commercial universe does a vendor say, go ahead, price check us? That is not how retail works. That is not how anything works. Do it, by the way. Do it thoroughly, before the handshake, not after. There are occasional reports of guests finding pieces at different price points in Clarendon's land-based galleries. Walk in informed. You'll walk out with a story, not a regret. And when your piece arrives at home, Clarendon handles everything. Framing, insurance, customs, duties, global delivery. A piece sold on a Cunard sailing arrived in Sydney, Australia in a few days. 3 days. Sydney. I have ordered items from a warehouse 20 minutes from my house in Switzerland that took considerably longer, with tracking updates written by someone going through a personal crisis. Clarendon holds a 4.9-star Trustpilot rating. Artwork delivered within a week, professionally framed, ready to hang. Ready to hang. Not leaning against the whole wall for 11 consecutive weekends while you sort out the framing. My only problem, and I say this as a man who has walked this gallery an embarrassing number of times, is that I have completely run out of wall space. I am evaluating the ceilings. My wife has advised me that ceilings are reserved for the Sistine Chapel or very eccentric billionaires. I believe I'm making solid progress towards the latter. So, Is the art on Explora real? Yes, spectacularly provenance certified, two-factor authenticated. Sydney in 3 days real. Is the experience different from anything else at sea? Yes, by the margin between a Mayfair gallery and a man with a gavel are a room full of empty flutes and the numbered print numbered 4200 out of 4200. What Clarendon and Explora have built here is a gallery as a philosophy. The radical idea that if you give sophisticated travelers 10 days at sea, no auction, and a collection that rotates overnight, they might actually fall in love with something, not because they were pressured, but because they had the space and the time and the quiet to let it happen. That, fellow bon vivants, is the secret art of Explora. And it is, unlike the Warhol I've been circling since Tuesday, completely and verifiably authentic. Comments are open. I read everyone. And there's a video right here that you're absolutely going to want next. I'll see you in it. Probably standing in front of a ceiling.